to metal, bro. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and Henrik bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. Better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get away. The ultimate. Rave over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and Henrik on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry that can't escape, reviewing video games. No need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and Henrik, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scams, they expose it all, making sure no one jams. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quits. Rage quits. I'm losing my mind. Chris and Henrik, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quits. Rage quits. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back in your videos to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, Henrik the Wreck?
I'm back
That's right.
and in the
It's-
flesh. Well, not really
I
in
know.
the flesh because
You're like
we're not in the
Batman.
same room, but I'm
Well,
here.
well, you're in the digital metaverse, right?
Exactly.
You're like Batman, right? You like fell in the well and then you were like trying to climb back out. Where have you been, Henrik? The people want to know.
Well, I went to Korea for a month and a week, and one of the weeks I was out there, I did go to Japan as well.
Awesome.
Had an amazing time. Those two countries are just both really a thrill to be in, and it was nice to, get away for a bit, have a vacation. I haven't really had a full-on vacation like that in forever, so
Yeah, that's what's up.
that was worth it.
And now we got the homeboy Henrik the Wreck back, so nothing's
Oh, yeah.
off limits. We get to clown him all together, all right? Nothing. Hold no
It's gonna
bars
be back
against
at
Henrik the
you
Wreck.
as well, Chris.
That's right.
You're not
The-
immune to the clowning.
Right. And the chat box is open, whether you are on YouTube, Twitch, and Meta. We want to take a moment for anybody that hasn't subscribed, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels. This QR code will send you directly to mine.
And you see this one right here, you know where that one goes. Yeah, it goes to my YouTube channel, where there's tons of content just waiting to be watched. And stay tuned, because more is on the way.
That's right, because we always like to start off the show with the bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Destiny Rising just dropped a new feature that's either genius or a lawsuit waiting to happen. I know some of you are like, what the hell is Destiny Rising? Well, it's a really cool mobile game, and now it lets you upload your own real-life dance videos and turns them into custom emotes. Yeah, like, those awkward living room TikToks can now live forever in a fantasy MMORPG. I know HenricK's probably got a few of those videos, but we will not disclose those dance videos at this time. But the features...
You know what? I think we all do, right, Chris?
No comment, Henrik. I'm not that guy. My little brother's that kind of dude. When it's a wedding, he's showing up on the dance floor. Myself, I'm kind of like that guy that's kicking it back with like 1 12-ounce of beer, judging everybody in the distance.
Just watching.
Just watching, judging a little bit. But the feature's called Stellar Dance, which sounds like a name of like a rejected K-pop group. Maybe you heard about one of them out there in South Korea, Henrik. But it lets players upload clips under 30 seconds and under 50 megabytes because, heaven forbid, your epic dance routine has more data than the game's story mode. And get this, even a featured section showing off the community's best moves, which means somewhere out there, a player's already grinding for XP with their grandma's line dance, right? I'm sure someone posted their grandma. And then,
I wouldn't be too mad to see someone emoting with their grandma's line dance after finishing a strike in that game. Like, that just sounds really cool.
Yeah, right?
I don't know about you, Chris.
Yeah, film your girl at a country bar. You know what I mean? Line dancing. You might have a special moment inside Destiny Rising. And you gotta figure that Fortnite and Epic Games are watching this like, wait, what the hell? People can dance for free? This is a major problem. So let me ask you this, gamers. Does it kind of make you wonder how long before this feature turns into a moderation nightmare, or every other game starts copy-pasting it like it's the next battle pass, right? Is this going to be the new crave? And if you haven't seen some of these epic dance moves that are trending online, let's go ahead and take a look.
Some of those are a little stiff. So, it's not perfect, but I appreciate the effort, and I don't think anyone would be mad that they can put their own dance in a game.
Yeah, but you know what's
That
so
just
crazy
sounds
about
like a
this, though?
particular feature.
Right, and I'm with you,
Right.
but remember we've talked about this before in previous seasons of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show where, choreographers and dancers have come after Epic Games and Fortnite, claiming that they stole their dance sequence, right? So if any kind of gamer and player can just post any kind of video into their database, are we going to have like a George R.R. Martin situation where they sue ChatGPT for copyright infringement? Just kind of similar to this. Like, what if you put Peacemaker's new dance, the controversial one, right? Oh, wait. Is he symbolizing something that none of the show creators were thinking about? Only the illusion of some to a few? Makes you kind of wonder,
Maybe.
right, Henrik? But let's dive right on into the comments to see what gamers have to say about Destiny Rising. New custom emotes for dancers. The internet will show them why no other developers have ever thought to allow this. Yeah, I don't think they want you to see this. But then again, you're doing all the dirty work for them, right, Henrik? Doesn't it seem like that? Feed the beast.
Yeah, I mean, you're fueling the creativity, basically. You're not having to rely on the developer to be like, oh yeah, these are the dances that you have to choose from for your emotes. No, come up with one yourself, which I will admit, it does have some
Oh, it's
potential to
freaking
be
awesome.
that.
I love it. I'm just saying, you're just doing all the work for the developers and the publishers, you know what I mean? Like Electronic Arts are really excited
Yeah.
to try to get, creators more involved, especially when it comes to like, the soccer games. They want you to make your own stadiums and then you could get featured, quote unquote. And they're like, thank you for doing all the dirty work. Thank you for making Coliseum Rome for the next Madden, or so be it. But then this comment reads, I don't understand why the developers didn't make a bigger deal about this anywhere. This is awesome. I generally can't think of another game that allows you to create your own emotes this easily. Like, sure, it's a little gimmicky, but man, it is cool as hell. I think the next cool
Oh
feature might
yeah.
be like maybe a cosmetic, development. You know what I mean?
Mm,
If you can make your own stream
yeah,
keys
yeah.
on a stream
Make
deck,
your own skin.
right? If you had a chance to make your own skin, HenricK, what would you create?
I probably would do something kind of edgy just for the joke of it.
Cyberpunk?
And I don't mean edgy as in like, oh, I'm gonna put like a slur on there. I mean edgy as in like angular and like dark and
Oh,
moody
okay. No,
sort of
no
edgy,
bright neon lights, nothing like that.
No. That's what like a game like Mecha Break is for,
Fair
where
enough.
you can customize your mech's colors. Like that's where the neon lights
I
come.
can see that. And then someone will absolutely get banned for something. How do you get banned if they check your video first before you're allowed to do that emote? Well, there's still a lot of things that get bypassed the system.
Yeah,
And
we see that every day.
all the time. And it's always crazy because considering how we always talk about how can things get caught? Do people actually vet their own stuff? Well, every other day, some tech bro logs on to announce that the AI is the future of creativity. And wait until later on in the show because we got a whole lot of news around the whole AI development within video games. But you just have to believe hard enough, right? That's what they want you to know. It's like a Disney movie, and ChatGPT is Tinkerbell to these tech bros. And this week's Oracle of Innovation is a gentleman named Matt Schumer, CEO of Hyperwrite, who proudly unveiled what he called a glimpse into the future of game development. And gamers, it's a glimpse I wish I could unsee, to be fair. Right, HenricK? I mean, you saw this, you're like, what the hell's going on? I see a
Yeah.
ladder in the middle of the subway tracks, right? Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's very jarring. And he posted a demo of an AI-generated shooter that looks like it was programmed during like a power surge. And the visuals melt, the motion stutters, and the whole thing feels like your computer caught a fever and decided to express itself artistically. Like the Terminator, right? He's got feelings too. But it's less next-gen gaming and more of a digital possession. And yet this is being pitched as progress, proof that AI is redefining creativity. And sure, if redefining means turning every genre into a playable migraine. So here's the real question. If this is what the future of gaming looks like, are we evolving or just speedrunning straight into digital madness? I don't know. Some people are really jiving about this. Others just don't like it. You be the judge. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
It really is wild how much they made it look like a game, yet also not like a game at the same time, because there's a lot of just inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Now, if that was the intention,
Yes.
like if you're like trying to make it, but like what is reality, and what's not,
Right, like a Christopher
maybe it'll
Nolan
work.
Inception. That's what I got
Yeah.
from it. He could have fooled
Yeah.
all of us if he just readdressed his tweet to not be like, AI games are going to be amazing. And then that's the demo that you want to showcase to everybody. Yeah, let me get my investors in a few shekels and let's throw all our dinero on top of this. Or do you go towards XAI? Another video game studio that wants to go AI first. Oh, wait, there's another studio, but we'll save that for patch notes. You have to hold on to your horses, young lads and girls out there watching Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. But let's dive right on into the comments, because the first one is, keep AI away from video games. Abysmal dog shit. It's the same people,
Yeah.
but then there has to be a point where it is gonna get more involved, right? I mean, it's the whole joke that everybody says about Fortnite, right? They're like, oh, bots inside the Battle Royale has ruined the game. There's no real competition. Is that a fair argument to say, HenricK? Or is like AI like a totally only mention when it comes to level design and character development and NPCs?
No, I think the battle royale argument is also valid, because especially in a game like that, when you kill someone, you're like, yes, I beat another person who I know is now mad that I ruined their time. When it's not another person, that kind of it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. I'm with you. And then you get, this is funny. The guy's climbing the steps. Even like the first 2 seconds where his legs are like sticking way up in the air when he's like jumping off from, rappelling from the rope of the helicopter. But even the top comment reads, this is what video games look like to someone who doesn't play video games. I mean, this would have been
accurate.
This would have probably been amazing during the PS2 era. Maybe.
Oh yeah. It would fit right in.
Right on it, right with all the amazing pixels and polygons. And then you get the last comment. Translation, please invest in AI. Please, oh gods. Not just one singular god, all the gods in the world. I put all my savings in this. Don't let this become as worthless as my NFTs. Please, please, please. And then Matt Schumer, the man who has carried on with this AI demo all throughout the weekend, is saying, oh, that's not it at all. I'm releasing the code for this for free, so anyone can build upon it. I don't plan on making a single dollar on this. I sniff bullshit.
Yeah, usually there's something behind that.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually.
It's a little bit of a shady investment. It's like you see that the photos in the trailer going around with that $20,000 humanoid robot, and it's like, that thing's not even legit. So you're going to bank all your money into paying a monthly payment or a single fee to have this AI robot do the dishes? I don't know. Moving on. So
yeah, it wouldn't be me.
Right. Yeah, right. So over in the UK, the first Neuralink patient, a man named Paul, just became the ultimate gamer. Paul, who is paralyzed from motor neuron disease, got the Neuralink brain implant back in October, and just hours after surgery, he was already, excuse me. Oh gosh, my thing went all.
You got it.
No,
Chris,
I thought I froze for a second. I was like, did I just leave? Sorry about that. No, it was back in this October, just hours after surgery. He was already controlling a computer with his thoughts, which is incredible. And while most of us can't even get our Bluetooth headphones to connect, this guy is out here literally running Windows with his mind. And it's insane. And now, as you can see, Paul's teaming up with Neuralink engineers to use his implant to play Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War, which, let's be honest, is the most accurate title imaginable for what happens when you give someone telepathic control over their army. Wouldn't you say, HenricK?
You're saying this is going to be the start of the AI takeover?
Never say never. I mean, have you seen all those thousands of drones during those Chinese shows?
I was gonna say, if sci-fi has taught us anything, you are right.
I'm just saying, we're in the dystopian future, and it's genuinely amazing. We're watching the line between gamer and cyborg disappear in real time, but it does make you wonder, if Neuralink keeps advancing like this, how long before rage quitting becomes an actual medical event? It just makes you wonder. So let's go ahead and check out the gameplay.
Why is he checked in?
Right?
Sir, you rage quit too hard.
Oh, boy. We have to label him as an RQ. Let's roll the clip.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe on a more serious take to this, it is really cool that they were able to make it so this guy could actually play games again.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, Henrik.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider we're lucky to be able to use our motor skills with whether it's your legs, your fingers, your hands, your eyes, listening, right? You know what I mean? So like the
Mhm.
minute you lose that as a player, as a gamer, and to have that come back. That's such a cool, powerful moment. And I think, as much as we like to clown
Yeah.
Elon Musk on this show quite a bit, I got to say, this is one of the more cooler companies that he's got rolling out. And I think this is a major win globally. So to see another successful Neuralink patient be able to play video games now across the pond in the United Kingdom, awesome. Freaking awesome. And so let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments because the first one reads, billions of dollars spent and the first thing he does is playing computer game. If you're a gamer, right, Henrik? I would be. Like,
I mean, I can't lie. I would maybe do something like that too.
I mean, everybody's got
Invest in game.
right. Everybody's got their niche. When you're working on not, 8 to 5 gig or whatever, 9 to 5. You want to kick your feet up, put on something nice. Maybe it's television, maybe it's movies, maybe it's music. A lot of us youth, we love our video games. And yeah, if we're going to be invested in this kind of technology, I think, video games is the perfect thing to kind of test, brain implants in a sense. There's a lot of different programming that happens, especially in a lot of those kind of style of games, like, Warhammer, right, Henrik?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot that goes into it. So the fact that he's able to play it with just thinking, basically,
Yeah.
to simplify it,
I,
that's really
I,
impressive.
and also what I'm trying to say too is it's like it still would be super impressive if it was like a Super Mario Bros game, where it's like
Oh,
very
yeah,
basic
yeah.
controlling, but with a game like that where there's a lot of management that has to go like in real
Mhm.
time, yeah, it's freaking badass. And unfortunately has now been arrested by the police for thinking something offensive. No, someone's already thinking it.
That would happen in the UK because they actually go to your house if you say something about someone online.
Yeah, and I mean, China's kind of been, trending a little bit because I suppose if you want to be a content creator or an influencer, you have to have a degree that matches what you're discussing, and if not, you face $100,000 fine. Woo! Hey.
Crazy.
It's okay. They'll just know what you're thinking before you say it. Thank you, Neuralink. And then last, take it. Elon,
Zeus,
allow
your
me to control
has
games with
returned.
my brain. My life is yours. That was like the worst. Worst impression of Kratos, boy. But y'all get the point. Hey, but this is Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. We want to thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live, whether it is YouTube, Meta, and Twitch. And we just want to take a moment for everybody that hasn't liked, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show. And this QR code will send you directly to my YouTube channel.
Yes, and you know the drill. At this point, you should at least, because this one goes to my YouTube channel, where there's tons of content and more on the way. So stay tuned, all right?
Yeah, let's get it. So we're only getting started. So HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. Whip out those swords, Chris. It's time to use them.
Yee.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Ninja Gaiden 4. Koei Tecmo is finally releasing the next entry in the Ninja Gaiden series. The weight of expectations weighs heavily on the shoulders for this one. Let's find out what it's all about. Ninja Gaiden 4, like its predecessors, is a brutally difficult action combat game. Slash your way through the enemies as you traverse Tokyo and control Yakumo of the Raven Clan. Your objective? Cleanse Tokyo of the cursed husk of the Dark Dragon. However, doing so may not be as easy or straightforward as Yakumo thought. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
Is this not like the perfect game for rage quit?
Yeah,
Because
for real.
it will make you rage quit.
This video game title alone is the definition. Yeah, it's gonna be part of Grokpedia, or is it gonna get added to the dictionary like 6-7 has been? Like, I still don't even know what the hell 6-7 is. I know. Don't judge me.
It's not supposed to make sense, Chris. Don't worry
Okay, fair
about
enough. I know my head hurts when I think about those silly analogies you young lads, you whippersnappers, cook up nowadays. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 marks the glorious return of high-speed, precision-driven combat that helped define the genre, right? I mean, you wouldn't have, God of War and all these iconic games without, Ninja Gaiden. And, the blades are sharper, the enemies meaner. And if you blink, you're already dead, right, HenricK? And I think Team Ninja and Platinum Games have joined forces for like a new era of violence that proves, the Master Ninja still reigns supreme.
And that's really, really awesome that it's both of those teams that are already so well known for their action combat games. Like Platinum Games, they started with Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Those games, much as people may look at them now as like, oh, that's just a gooner bait game. It's not. It's actually got some really great combat in, and it was just the beginning. They've had so much time now to, make their formula really a formula. And you can tell in this game that they really nailed the combat. Did they not, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. And do you think, though, like the developers sat in a room and said, like, how do we make the players feel both powerful and deeply unqualified to play this game? Did you feel that way? Because this hack and slash is extremely brutal. I constantly kept feeling myself squeezing harder and harder on the controller. It's
just ready to throw it, but you shouldn't because it's expensive.
Yeah, I am clearly still on the white belt stage. Never will get anywhere close to being a black belt. I am quite like the rookie who has to jump on in, right? Like Yakumo. I'm already butchering his name.
Yakumo.
Oh my gosh.
Yakumo.
See, you're like,
it's all right, Chris. We know it's not your first language.
Golly, dude. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, he's tasked with, saving a near future Tokyo from this like ancient evil that's turned the city into this foggy, demon-infested nightmare. And yes, Ryu is back. I mean, he's kind of waiting in the sidelines like that retired athlete who's just...
Yeah, he's kind of like, stalking you for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he can't resist showing the rookie how it's really done. And, that's not really a spoiler. He's not really the main focus in the story. I mean, they are trying to pursue this new charge and this new character development. But I think that's like the only real critique I really have about this game is that I was really thinking going into this game that they were going to focus on the gameplay, which they do an excellent job with. But I felt like they were going to be a little bit more story-driven this time, considering that there might be a generation that's not born, in the 1900s that has no idea how this franchise began and where it goes.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Chris, it's a Ninja Gaiden game.
That was never the focus.
The story was never the focus. The story is literally just a vessel for the game to exist, and
but why does that have to be like that,
for
though?
you to be able to actually, kill people.
Are you telling me you're the guy that's still cutting, the cutscenes? You just want to get straight to the action, katana swings?
No, I'll watch the cutscenes, but I know that I'm not getting like a George R.R. Martin kind of story, It's not that deep.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like they have like a lot of potential, especially when you're introducing a new character that like we're all supposed to embrace. And I'm sure there's probably some diehard retro gamers out there that are like, why did you only tease it towards the end of the game that we get to play as the iconic figure that really set this franchise afloat? But, it's lightning fast. I mean, it's viciously technical, and it punishes almost anyone who thinks that button mashing that I love to do is a valid strategy. Well, guess what? You're absolutely wrong.
You cannot do that.
You cannot.
Yeah, no, because not only are you powerful, but the enemies can very easily overpower you as well. That's why they have to show you so early on, without any health bar, that, hey, you got to know how to block and dodge attacks, because it's going to be very, very important. And if you don't learn how to do that quickly, you're going to be seeing that game over screen a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to go to YouTube tutorials to be like, how do I get through the next phase of the boss fight? It's really like that.
Yeah.
And they got, I would say, some pretty cool iconic moves like the flying swallow decapitation special. Was there anything else that you were vibing with that really kind of stuck out to you?
Oh, well, they have to, of course, put the Izuna drop in there.
Yeah.
That's the immediate thing when I looked into the combo system. I was like, they better have
Yeah,
it. And of course they did. I was like, yes, you put in the iconic move of Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah, it's
got
a
it.
good wrestling move that doubles as a war crime. That is for damn sure. And if rage was martial art, would this game make us grandmasters or victims, HenricK?
It depends on your perspective and also your skill issue.
Yeah. It's always the skill
Yeah.
issue. But were you entertained by the whole Blood Raven form? I mean, I like the idea for myself personally when I got to hold onto the trigger and then all of a sudden your sword like transforms into this like massive like drill hammer or whatever form of like overcompensation you're into, right? I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, well, it's a risk versus reward sort of
Yeah,
thing.
because it's
Like,
definitely
it puts
slower.
Yeah, it puts you slower and it's harder to, just mentally like take your finger off that
But
button
pulling it off
to
feels
go
so
back to
good,
the original
though.
mode.
It feels so good.
But yeah, it does feel really good. It reminds me a lot of the Devil Trigger mechanic in Devil May Cry games. Slightly different though, because you're not going into the mode and then backing out of it. You're holding the button to go into it and then backing out of it. But yeah, it's very similar in that respect. And hey, Devil Trigger is fun, and this Blood Raven mode is also very
But how
fun.
many times do you have to die before it counts as character development in this game? Maybe that's where the story driven comes in, right? You are in one with the character. In a sense, because when that berserk meter starts to build up, you do feel like you are him. I mean, you're gonna which how does it go? It basically feels as you deal and take damage, which is really cool. It will build up, and then you can unlock these like cinematic finishers that are so over the top that it does feel like you're kind of in this like mini action anime sequence, which I thought was really, really cool. The flow of battle constantly keeps you adapting, and it's not about spamming combos like I was telling you. No button mashers here. You are not gonna vibe with this game. It's about reading your enemies, reacting, and knowing when to unleash chaos. Wouldn't you say, HenricK?
Yeah, no, it's just like how in a Souls-like you have to learn the patterns of bosses and enemies. Just like this, you got to learn the telegraphs. You got to learn, like, oh, okay, when this enemy raises his right arm, he's about to attack in a second.
Yeah.
Things like that, and
it's a faster Dark
can
Souls
kind
experience.
Of innately, yeah, exactly. You can kind of innately pick up on it through instinct, but you have to also sometimes just intently look at what the enemies are doing, because otherwise you're not going to be able to tell and learn from it. You have to put in that effort, otherwise you're going to get stuck.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I think some people might feel like in the beginning, Ninja Gaiden 4 might stumble a bit for some, but I think the charisma of the new character, it could use the software patch, and the level design isn't exactly groundbreaking either. I would say, it is a bit repetitive in a sense, but I think when the blades come out, though, HenricK, none of that really matters to me. I mean, the combat is relentless.
In the heat of combat, all the other stuff does not really take focus, because obviously you're in combat and you're just having fun dismembering people and then seeing the finisher.
Yeah.
And getting to the point of dismembering someone and seeing the finisher is all the fun.
Yeah,
right
the presentation is gorgeous. I mean, every fight feels like an invitation to earn your survival. So for me, HenricK, I would say this is a repeat, because when you make a game that defeats the whole idea. Well, let me rephrase it. When it's a game that makes you feel like defeat is like very satisfying when you finally make it happen, where you don't want to walk away, and it makes you want to dive right back into the fray, that's a success. It's a very much a success. You're gonna want to get all the way to the end of this game, and then you're gonna want to one up the difficulty, because you're gonna feel like a freaking badass at the end of the game. I thought it was a repeat, but how are you vibing with this?
Oh yeah, this is an absolute repeat for me as well. This is the exact kind of game that I love to play. And just like how Ninja Gaiden 2 is an iconic game from the series, I really think that this one is going to be an iconic game in the series that people look back on and say, that actually was a very, very good game
Yeah, why did
for
I
its
skip
time.
that the first time around? And we're telling you, don't skip it. You're going to want to play it. So you heard from us,
Hmm.
Ninja Gaiden 4. What are you vibing with, gamers? Let us know what's good. But we got so much here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So, HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah, let's get the meat and potatoes started, Chris.
Let's get it, baby. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more with my homeboy, HenricK the Wreck. Let's get it. So Krafton, the South Korean studio behind PUBG, Subnautica, and Hi-Fi Rush, has decided it's time to level up. Not in graphics, gameplay, or storytelling, but by turning into an AI-first company. Yeah, because when you can't balance your battle royale weapons, clearly the next logical step is to rebuild your entire company around artificial intelligence. They're dropping nearly $70 million to build a giant GPU cluster because apparently nothing says progress like replacing artists with a server farm that occasionally forgets what a human face looks like. And starting in 2026, they'll spend another $20 million a year teaching employees how to apply AI to their work, which feels a lot like giving your replacement a LinkedIn endorsement. And they're even restructuring HR around AI. Yeah, it sounds illegal, so don't you worry. When you get laid off, it'll be a chatbot that breaks the news politely. Sorry, HenricK, you are going to get that message in 0.3 seconds.
You are terminated.
You are terminated, my
No, you don't. You don't want to hear that.
no one ever wants to hear that. And now, to be fair, every major studio is doing their own version of this. EA just partnered with Stability AI, the creators of Stable Diffusion, to build tools that can generate 3D environments from text prompts, meaning soon you could describe a map in words and watch AI turn it into a game world in minutes, which is great until it forgets collision physics and spawns your character halfway through a wall, which Matt Schumer clearly has demonstrated. Tech bros, right?
Yeah.
And sure, the appeal's obvious. Game budgets are ballooning, timelines are shrinking, and publishers are desperate for something to fix it. All of it, right? And so AI is being sold as this like miracle cure for an industry that keeps breaking its own ankles, sprinting towards release dates. But let's be real. When every studio goes AI first, does that mean the games get better or just faster at producing the same recycled ideas, this time with fewer humans to blame?
Well, the AI has to learn from someone, right? So
Yeah, it is LLM in the end, language learning model. You have to feed the beast. And so let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments because the first one reads, hopefully AI can purchase and play their games too and review bomb. Wouldn't that be wild, HenricK? Like if there was an actual publisher, studio, or developers out there that utilize their own AI servers to go after another company and troll in this way.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens already.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I never thought about it until I read this comment live on air. Crazy. And then AI-centric HR. Holy shit, that should be illegal. It just sounds
Yeah, what
so
happened
crazy.
to the human in human resources?
Fair point. Or it's
Like,
humanoid.
am I
It's
wrong in
humanoid
saying that?
resources now. Come on, man. You should know better, HenricK. Duh. And then they didn't just set fire to their reputation. They fully nuked it and then threw it into the sun. It was already pretty garbage with PUBG. And then another follow-up comment that reads, fair. I have not followed PUBG since launch. Battle Royale is just not a genre that clicked with me. Well, now you can make your own Battle Royale. All it takes is just a text and a few ideas to hang out with all your buddies in the virtual sandbox. Wouldn't you do that, HenricK?
It sounds fun on paper,
I
but I
think
think
so.
that yeah, we'd have to see it in
But
action.
we all know
Is
that
what I'll
Krafton's not
say.
going to be treating it like that.
No, no, no.
No, not at all. And then you get comments like this: Subnautica is doomed. It's been doomed for a while. Remember, Henrik, when we reported on
Yeah,
it
when we
last
talked
season, that
about it last.
where they had to make
Mm.
some firings, even with some of the OGs that worked on the very first game. Yeah, the sequel's supposed to be dropping pretty darn soon, coming into
Yeah,
the new
that's
year.
one of those games that I don't think it's going to live up to the hype, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the creators ended up getting laid off because they put most of their focus in developing an AI movie studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then to
Yep.
see Krafton kind of center their whole model around being a quote unquote AI first company, I guess to play devil's advocate is no different than how Microsoft has been talking recently. I mean, Microsoft
Yeah.
is like, no, we are AI all the way. You know, it,
I mean, they're really pushing that Copilot AI. So
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you go and get your Xbox Rogue Ally. First thing you're going to see is that Copilot, baby. And then, look, I'm not an AI hater. I think there are a lot of valid use cases for it, but this obsession with being an AI first is so stupid. AI is just a tool. Would you ever want to say you're a tool first company? No, it's just meaningless gibberish. Completely agree with this take. We are now PC first company. No more people. It's like, you are ran by the server farms. And then the last comment, important to remember, Krafton in Unknown Worlds, and from what the developers have said, Krafton has allowed them fairly flexible autonomy in development. They only stepped in recently when the founder drama, because they paid hundreds of millions of dollars for a studio whose heads had completely checked out, and in the ironic case of one, to create an AI movie. Yeah, it's a Christmas movie, by the way. Holy
yeah,
cow.
yeah.
It's we covered it before in the past. You have to go and find it, fam. But not that I support this bullshit or some of the many other instances that Krafton bullshit, but this doesn't necessarily spell doom for Subnautica 2. Which, we'll read into this next comment because they're kind of contradicting what you just said, HenricK. But they also originally said it was because the game wasn't in a state ready for early access launch, and the key milestones were not being hit. Then, when asked to provide evidence of those claims, they shifted the goalpost. That goalpost shifting made me much less trusting of Krafton's claim. Well, they believe it's going to be a success. Why don't you feel that way, HenricK?
Like you were saying, it really feels like every company is saying this is the magic pill that will fix all of our problems. No, I don't think so, because your problems won't be fixed from one thing like that. You have deeply rooted problems in some of these bigger companies that probably will never be fixed until there's a huge thing like the company goes away and then gets
Yeah.
rebuilt by other people. Because really, I want to say a lot of the problem really goes to upper management, executives, things like that. And who's pushing the AI as the solution? The executives, the upper management. They're not wanting to be replaced by the AI. They're trying to replace the people below them.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to highlight to all the listeners tuning in to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show that Steam games disclosing the use of generative AI have increased by 800% so far this year.
Yep.
800%.
Crazy.
And we
But it
covered
makes
it
sense.
early. Right, and we covered it earlier in the year that the GDC State of the Game Industry survey had nearly 50% of the developers saying that generative AI tools are being used at their workplace, while 84% say they're concerned about their use. But then there's others that kind of say pause. Pause, HenricK. Pause, all players. Don't you panic. And that is Rockstar Games. That's Strauss Zelnick. It takes two. He's basically been coming out and saying, listen, look, like, there is no way you can make Grand Theft Auto 6 with AI. Not in its current state, because everything, again, is off an LLM, language learning model. And again, it's really important to emphasize that to you, the gamers. You have to feed a text prompt into the feed, and then you have to rely on the system to build that image for you. That's where he draws the line where I just don't see it coming. But then I also kind of question Strauss, in a sense, right? Because you can go on Grok, you can go on ChatGPT, you can dump your own photo, HenricK. We just saw it with Destiny Rising, how you can drop a video and it'll turn into a dance. Why can't they see that it can happen sooner than not later? To bring an image into a video game stance.
In the case of the Destiny Rising thing, I mean that's a moderation issue that I don't think most companies would want to even touch. And when it comes to just
Well, that's a NetEase game, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Very
But
popular.
when it comes to like the creation of GTA 6, I want to say that being such a hyped game that people are so excited for and so intent on watching every little detail of it. If people learn like, oh, okay, you made 80% of this game with AI, all the hype is going to die, because what people really want out of that game is the human creativity to show
Is
through.
that any different, though, HenricK, than some of the games we've covered in the past with procedurally generated, content? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that kind of the same concept in a sense? It has to.
GTA 6 is not procedurally generated.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying with other games. I mean, if someone said like 80% of that is procedurally generated, like, would you know what I mean? And then like,
Sure,
if it's
and
AI,
I mean, in its
do you
in
get
its own
turned
way,
off?
In its own way, that can work. But then you look at situations like an example I can think of is Starfield, where a lot of the content ended up being procedurally generated and kind of boring at the same time. It didn't lend any favors to the experience that it was procedurally generated. Whereas in comparison to a game like, we'll say, Diablo,
Yeah.
the maps there, they are procedurally generated. There's going to be parts that are not, but a lot of the map is going to be procedurally generated. And that does lend to its replayability, because it's never going to feel exactly the same to go through an area.
Yeah, I think that's a definitely fair argument. And it also makes me think about what we covered in previous seasons in the past, where Ubisoft was under fire for having this AI script writing tool. And a lot of the people came out. Yeah, Ghost Rider. And, they were like, wait, what? I thought you hired me to be the lead writer, not to come in and proofread AI. Like, what the hell? Is that? I thought AI was supposed to do that for my stuff, right?
Yeah,
Clean up
the
my
other way
things.
around.
No, exactly. And so, gamers, are we witnessing the next big evolution in gaming, or a moment the studios start outsourcing creativity itself to the algorithm? Let us know what's good. But let's start the segue, because, this was blowing up over the weekend. Break it down, HenricK the Wreck.
Yes. Despite the mismanagement of Halo, I would say that the majority of people, when they see Master Chief, they still see him as one of the faces of Xbox, if not the face of Xbox. Am I
childhood,
right? Like Xbox even knows that. They show Master Chief and they say, okay, this is our, like you said, our child, right?
Yeah.
Well, now Master Chief is coming to PlayStation, because there's that Halo 1 remake.
Don't you do it, Cortana.
So, well, how could you do this to us?
I know. She goes,
Right?
sorry, I needed a real God of War. You're just like a deity to my eyes. Sorry.
You know what's going through my head right now when I see this?
This is the real true phase of AI turning on all of us, all right? Master Chief is showing us now in this meme. Don't trust the AI, but go on.
You know what's going through my head when I see this meme is the whole death battle things that people were saying, like, oh, Master Chief versus like Kratos, for example, who would win? Like,
I know,
guys,
right? Or we're gonna need a Kratos and
one
Master
is a
Chief's rap
demigod,
battle.
a literal god, and the other is just a super soldier. Like come on.
Yeah, I think we all know who's
be a
gonna
little
win that fight.
realistic. But amidst all of this, who comes out to say something? None other than GameStop. Yeah, that's right. The company that will take your $90 Nintendo game that you just bought from them and say, yeah, I'll buy it back from you for $5. If
I know.
you're lucky, you'll
Isn't
get
this
that.
probably the most annoying company ever?
Yeah, and what
Like
did they
you
say?
just
Well,
said.
they said, no, guys, the console wars are over. We're declaring it right now. Like they're an authority on that. Come on.
Only because Microsoft and Sony have joined allegiance, and not Nintendo, who is charging $80, $90 games for Mario Party to throw a red shell at your friends. Yeah, Yeah, right.
Yeah. But hey, they weren't
Totally
the
over.
only ones. They were not the only ones, because who else decided to get into the mix? Well, none other than the White House. Because
Yeah,
we definitely
wow.
want to hear from them about how they're, you know, doing such great things with gaming. No, they're making it more expensive to game in this lifetime. In the whole administration with their tariffs and everything. Yeah, that's their whole thing. So you know what I'm smelling? I'm smelling a Black Mirror episode in the works, and I know those writers are in the room just eating everything up right now. And there's definitely one on the horizon. Or wait, sorry, Horizon is a Sony
Yeah,
game.
that's a Sony game, Henrik. What are you doing?
That's my bad. Yeah, different company.
Right.
But anyways, enough rambling about it. Let's go ahead and see what the gamers have to say about this. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
let's
know they
dive
have
right
some
into the
juicy
comments.
comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get it. So yeah, this was the tweet. Power to the players, and you got Donald J. Trump, president of the United States. And I don't know if anybody notices it. Yeah, you get the sword. It does look like a pretty
Yeah.
bitchin' AI photo until you realize there's only 40 stars on the American flag. So I guess,
Oh.
Henrik, we lost 10 states to the covenant. Power
Or
to the players.
maybe that's the propaganda of, guys, we're gonna mix together. We're gonna fuse a bunch of these states, make them bigger states.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Think about it.
It's just really pathetic to see that you get the White House to come and jump in on this, especially when you were just saying in your monologue where, subscriptions have gone up, consoles have gone up, video
Yep.
games have gone up because of the impact of tariffs. And yeah, some can make the argument that, it's not all just tariffs. It's also, greedy corporations like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo that are increasing profits because they know they can take advantage of the situation that the Trump administration has caused worldwide in the gaming industry. And then you get, oh gosh, there you go, GameStop. I can't tell whether they're trolling the president or
Yeah,
if they're
dude,
actually on their side.
That's what's so crazy about these images. You don't know.
Yeah, because these are the
It's so
same
hard to tell.
assholes that will take your consoles for $20, knowing that you could easily resell it on Facebook Marketplace for maybe half, maybe a third the cost of what you paid originally, right, Henrik?
Yeah, exactly.
So they're
Like,
both
dude,
just as scummy.
You're gonna sell this for so close to the actual price, and you're only gonna give me like a tenth of it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't think Master Chief would approve of this, okay? And then I just spoke with the chief. I mean, they call him the Master Chief, all right? You can believe that. The Commander-in-Chief talking to the Master Chief. I said, Chief, listen, they don't like the word master these days. You could get yourself into some trouble. You know what he said? Nothing.
and that, everyone, was Chris Collins as
Yeah.
Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, that was very diplomatic.
Clip
Yes, clip it. I know, right? And then putting aside the fact that there are 10 stars missing from the AI-generated flag, the Trump tariffs have been directly responsible for the PS5, Xbox Series XS, and Nintendo Switch seeing a price increase in the U.S. Not sure how that's power to the players. I'm not sure how that's power to the players, and I'm also very surprised how Microsoft hasn't even stepped in to even kind of denounce the use of the White House using their iconic character,
Yeah,
to try to
and
prove a point that's
considering-
only hindered all of us gamers.
Yeah, and I'm sure this is going to become more common for AI to be used in things, even by just the administration of our country. They also used Pokemon not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah, it's kind of
they're
wild. It's like
willing to
everybody
do
else
this
can get
multiple
flagged for
times.
using copyright content, but it's okay. The White House gets a free pass to use whatever they like. And then,
Exactly.
you know who loves this? The same dumb effers who said, keep politics out of gaming for the last 8 years. It's so true. It's so freaking
Yeah.
true. That's hilarious. And then the last one says, imagine telling people in 2016 that the White House is posting Trump Halo memes with GameStop. Yeah. Who would have figured that?
That'd be something to go back in time and tell someone, and they just would not believe you. You
Yeah,
say
I
that
mean,
as a time traveler, and they wouldn't believe you're a time traveler.
But I mean, overall, I mean, is it a win to see Halo show up on the PlayStation 5? It feels like
Oh, yeah.
it would have been cooler to me personally if it was actually a newer game of Halo. Yeah, like the graphics
Yeah,
are cool. I
I
forgot how
get
bitchin' the
why
soundtrack
they.
was.
Oh yeah, every time that the Gregorian chants come on, yeah, you instantly win over the people.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
it's like
'cause it's
fourth
just one
grade
of
all
those
over
games,
again, and get the Mountain
when
Dew going, and and get the pizza from Pizza
yeah,
Hut, and you're
so,
gonna be gaming
and
all
it's
day.
really it's just one of those
Co-op style.
games. It brings the people together, and it is the kind of thing where when you see all this excitement, maybe minus the memes from the White House, it does bring a tear to your eye. At least it brings a tear to my eye, me being a Halo fan, to see the hype and excitement
So you don't get
behind
all
such a big
so you're not
series.
all upset about this because you do got like the Xbox gamers that are really starting to panic. They're like, well, what's the real point of even investing in Xbox gear? I mean, moving forward, if they're just going to
Yeah.
be moving all of their games uh, away from being exclusive and just showing
hmm
up everywhere. Because, like, I mean, on the
and that's
PlayStation
really
5, there's
the.
like top 10 games, at least 5 of them are coming from Xbox. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
and
so,
then
like,
that's
that's incredible.
the crazy thing. It's like when you see things like this, it really brings up the question: is this showing us that the console wars are dead, or did Xbox just say, you know what, we know we lost, we're just not going to gatekeep our big titles anymore because we know that we benefit more from the gamers having the choice to play our games rather than have to buy our console to play our games. What
Yeah.
do you think about that, Chris?
Well, I mean, there has been this conversation around the whole idea that potentially the next Xbox console will be a little bit more PC friendly at the same time.
hmm
What does that exactly mean? I have no idea. My opinion of that is maybe it is just a PC gaming rig, but it's gonna have more of like the interface being more of a console layout. I just don't see how that's going to be a win in the end. I truly believe the smart TVs are going to be the way to go, and then you're going to occasionally get, all that development's going to build up even more exciting. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think Xbox is going away anytime soon. I know they're trying to get aggressive with their push when it comes to where they see themselves in the next 5 years, and I know we'll be covering that a bit later in Patch Notes, so I'll reserve that
hmm
for that topic. But yeah, it's going to get really interesting to see what happens. But whether the hype's going to be real, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I do think it's really cool that they're bringing in 3 new prequel missions to
Oh
this
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
campaign involved, and so whether that resonates with the gamers or entails for what the next game's gonna be, I'm all in. So we'll have to wait. Keep our ears perked.
yeah. But speaking of PCs and all that sort of thing, tell us what's going on, Chris, with one of the bigger PC companies out there.
Yeah, this is crazy. So Valve just dropped what they're calling a small update to Counter-Strike 2, and yeah, it's small if you ignore the part where it accidentally nuked a multi-billion-dollar economy. The patch added some optimization tweaks, a few minor changes, and completely rewrote how players get rare skins. And for those who don't live in the Counter-Strike's digital Wall Street, the skin market is player to player. You can literally sell a rare AK-47 design for hundreds of thousands of dollars. One even
hmm
hit $1 million recently, which means somewhere out there, a guy traded his college tuition for a virtual camouflage. And, Valve's just recently changed the rules. You can trade up lower tier items to get gold skins, the ones usually locked behind loot boxes, which sounds great unless you're the guy holding on to that $100,000 in digital knives that just got devalued faster than Dogecoin on a Monday. And when the update hit, the entire market collapsed. Analysts estimate that nearly $3 billion in value vanished overnight. I mean, imagine waking up and finding out your digital gloves are now worth less than a cup of coffee. Insane. And so the wild part, these skins were never really truly yours anyway. I think you should probably read Valve's terms of service, which basically say you don't own this stuff. You're just borrowing it until we decide you've had enough fun. And so it makes me wonder, when a video game update can crash $1 billion market in seconds, Are we still talking about gaming, or have we quietly reinvented the stock exchange
Yeah,
with better graphics?
when you started saying like, "Oh yeah, analysts said this thing," you literally were talking about it like it was stocks.
Well, that's how people treat it. It's almost
Yeah.
like it's if a Bitcoin, and it's that's why you got to be so weary. I thought we learned our lessons with NFTs. Apparently not, HenricK. And so let's go ahead and dive right onto the comments. And oh, my eyes, like a queso
The
moment. No,
yellow.
just kidding. Yeah, so yellow on Reddit. My heart bleeds. I mean, on one hand, people did spend a fair bit of money buying crates, etc., or buying the knives outright. On the other hand, you spent your money on literally useless cosmetics. It was never intended to be an investment vehicle. You bought a shitty investment, and you're reaping the rewards. Ouch. Do you find that a bit harsh, or do you think, anybody that actually thought that this was actually worth some actual money, are they in the wrong?
I know a few people who have definitely made a good amount of money off of this market, but it always, to me at least, did feel a little like it was just volatile. In some ways, more volatile than stocks, where just like how NFTs lost value basically what felt like overnight, it's almost like this was gonna happen eventually with
Yeah,
this
it's just
market as well.
I personally think this stuff is always super weird. I used to always laugh when my little brother was like, "Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna buy all these Fortnite characters and then I'm gonna sell my account, blah blah blah." And I'm like, dude, no, that's not how it's gonna work, man. You gotta read the terms of services. Like anything can go away. We hear about games all the time where they're like Amazon, they're shutting down a majority of their workers in the gaming section, and servers of some of their popular games are gonna go away. What does that mean? All your cosmetics that you spent on on that money, bye-bye, poof, in the digital airspace, gone forever. But they basically corrected the market. Honestly, Valve had to step in. The knives themselves were just another form of money laundering at that point. Wow. So we have drug lords in Counter-Strike, apparently.
But it makes sense considering that I want to say when you go, to any random person on the street and say, "Hey, do you know about this $6 billion market?" They're not going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Unless they're a gamer, maybe.
Yeah, and we've covered it in the past how ludicrous, some of these polls have been, and and always kind of questioned how far it would go. It really only took a year for Valve to finally kind of crack down. And then you get comments like this. I mean, this is what you get for investing in a quote-unquote asset whose value is backed by effectively nothing. Right. I mean, that's kind of the same ordeal with NFTs. It's the same idea with, like, Bitcoin. You know what I mean? It's like
you're
it's
investing
odd.
in the idea of it. The idea of it doesn't actually have anything tangible.
Yeah. At least the Topps baseball card is physical compared to this digital asset. And then, wow, just got word that some developers, a part of the Counter-Strike's 2 new update, were loading up on Redskins before the update's release. Data shows that buy orders on Redskins on Steam Market were placed right before the update's release. These developers sold their Reds at 4 times the value. That is insane. And then that's when I kind of wonder whether, a majority of these gamers that felt like they lost their quote-unquote savings that they seem to only invest in Counter-Strike 2, will a potential lawsuit break out because of this Counter-Strike market skin collapse? We'll only have to see and wait.
Yeah,
and then lost my...
to look at.
But look at even this Steam review. Lost my future due to the market crash. This is my goodbye. I invested over 2/3 of my father's inheritance, around $76,000 on skins, mainly knives, and now, due to the changes made by the value, I've lost more than I could ever hope to recoup in my lifetime. My father worked all his life as a blue-collar worker running a small business in order to create a comfortable life for me and my family, and right now I've just lost more than half of it. I literally planned my future around this investment, and it's now been shattered. I cannot continue living knowing my future has been ruined through my idiotic actions and that all my father's efforts were in vain. This is my final goodbye. I've swallowed numerous opiate pain pills and some Xanax that I had laying around. On top of that, I will be washing it down with the expensive bourbon my father left me that I had originally saved for a special occasion. I suppose now, such an occasion, I'm sorry I disappointed everyone around in my life, and I'm especially ashamed and sorry that all my father managed to create in his life would be torn down by me. This is my goodbye. And this is really sad because there's a lot of these kind of style reports coming out. There was a suicidal jump in China where someone jumped off a building because of this market crash. And it does concern me. I mean, this has been something that people have been pressing Valve for quite some time now, where you need to address the craziness of this all. You promote all these streamers to jump on Counter-Strike and open up these loot boxes, and then we remember called it out in the past with XQC. How ironic that XQC is able to pull out a rarity on stream, right? Like, just the one time he starts playing Counter-Strike, he gets this massive pull, and then all this revenue starts flying in for CSGO 2, and then people also want to join along, and then it becomes a rich man's game, and then all of a sudden the value just drops instantly over a 12-hour span. It's very, very scary. Very unfortunate. And then, the last comment reads, investing a 401k in a virtual skin is dumb as F, laughing my ass off. And I was just going to say these people need financial advisors, and honestly, nah, they got what they earned here. And yeah, there is a bit of a harsh reality around this. I do, I hate hearing stories where, people commit, take their own lives. I mean, this life that we're living is so freaking special. I adore it every single day, and I'm blessed to live another day. And so to hear these kind of stories, I don't know what the right answer would be, HenricK. I don't know if you have one, but like clearly it's about time Val should address this. Because, people have been gambling with this kind of stuff too for a while. It's no different than Roblox going under fire for Robux, and, they're being investigated by attorney generals across the states, in this nation, where they feel like Roblox is being manipulated on the youth. And I'm sure this is no different how they're approaching it with teenagers and adults who literally have zero financial literacy. So it's sad. So it makes you wonder if billions can disappear because of a video game patch. Are gamers really playing Counter-Strike, or are we all just day trading with prettier pixels and polygons? Let us know what's good.
It's something, I don't think either of us could really have a good answer for it, to be honest. But
yeah, it is.
Something has to be done.
Yeah, it's insane. But hey, let's start to turn the cogwheels, because I know we got one last topic for everybody that's tuning in live to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show.
Well, we all know how it feels to have a boss breathing down your neck. Well, now Xbox is going to be in that exact position. And why is that? Well, it's because Microsoft is asking Xbox to produce 30% for gaming profit margins. And if that doesn't sound like much, well, for reference, take this. The average profit margin in recent years has been between 10 and 20% for Xbox in the last 6 years, and between 17 to 22 in the gaming industry as a whole. So if the gaming industry as a whole can't really make it happen, what's the logic in making Xbox have it happen?
Well, it seems like it's going to push out a lot of indie gamers, right, HenricK?
Yeah, exactly. Because what is that?
Or indie developers, excuse me. Yeah.
And because what is this going to mean? Well, it's going to mean that Xbox as a brand is going to take fewer risks, and fewer indie games will be given the chance to be backed by them. Because
very fair.
Some pretty big games that came out even this year that were backed by Xbox, and because of that, they ended up on Game Pass day one.
Or just
like
rejecting,
Expedition 33, for example. That game, maybe they wouldn't have put any effort into actually backing that because of taking a risk, quote unquote.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of this. Yeah, let's dive right into the comments. And I'm with you, HenricK. I think, it definitely does get a lot of people nervous, considering how, AAA games are ballooning in cost, to $200 or $300 million. And they want to cut back down on that. And so to want to see their profit margins go up when they're not really investing in the next-gen console or some PC gaming rig, who freaking knows what they want, a $1,200 PC right next to your television screen.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Right? But this is sad. It's nothing for a AAA company. But $1,500, now $2,000 for a small team or an indie solo adventure is a roof over their head and bills for the month. Microsoft is greedy. Don't forget, $30 of digital sales. Hope you all love the same 4 games for eternity. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, they're really, really ambitious with this, and it honestly doesn't make sense. And I feel for the employees at Xbox right now because they're probably worried for their job security.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And you also get people that used to work for Xbox. When I ran the Xbox Advanced Technology Group, excuse me, ATG, ATG, our mission was simple: invest in developers to make their games great on our platform. We supported them. So why is Xbox squeezing indie teams with these price hikes? Echoing carbonated flame. 1,500 to 2,000 is a roof over their head. And then you get also comments that read, yeah, Xbox won't exist in 5 years. Do you think that would truly be the case? I think that's a bit of a stretch from Paul Tassi.
Yeah, maybe not 5 years, but definitely I could see them transitioning more towards, services maybe in 5 years and saying, hey, we really, really want you to do, cloud gaming or some other, service. Or maybe they do the whole outsourcing thing like they did with the ROG Ally, the Xbox ROG Ally, where they didn't even make the actual hardware. ASUS made it and they just slapped their branding onto it. Maybe that had happened
Yeah,
in
I mean, it's like what I was covering with
more often.
Atari, how they basically are bringing back the Intellivision, which originally was made
Mhm.
by Mattel back in the day. And so it's like just another way to rub it in their face and say, you lost the console wars and we will reignite this again. And then the Xbox crash out is generally one of the most confusing yet entertaining nukings of a brand I've ever seen. I cannot remember the last time good Xbox news dropped. It's been an avalanche of nonstop diarrhea, and at this point, I got nothing else but to cheer it on. Is that how people are really feeling? Nobody wants to see Xbox thrive and be successful again? I want to see a really good
Well,
Skyrim adaptation. I don't want to see them fail. I thought they have Fallout. I love Fallout. Season 2's coming. They cannot fail on me, HenricK.
and that's the thing. Like they have such great titles, but they just sometimes really fumble them. They don't let some of the titles, Halo, really thrive in a way that they should. And that's the unfortunate thing. That's kind of why they're in the corner they are now of needing, at least feeling like they need these profits to be successful. Because they lost the console war. Whether you think it's over or not, they
Yeah, it's
lost
really
that
interesting
console
to
war.
know that like Xbox doesn't even share their sales in consoles anymore. And it's probably because they don't want to see that same comparison up against the PS5. I think they know that they've been progressively uh, going down the toilet for quite some time now, and that's why I think they need to
Hmm.
reinvent the wheel. I know they were even recently speaking about how they feel threatened by short form content recently, and how short form
Oh yeah.
content is the killer for their gaming division. Like, really? Like, the attention span of the youth is not enough to be able to get them to play 3 or 5 hours into your video games. But then, you get Pirate Nation that says Microsoft Corporation is asking its Xbox gaming division to produce 30% profit margins, well above the industry standard or average. This is the reason for canceling products, raising prices, slashing thousands of jobs, with the last comment that reads, well, well, well. Who would have thought that a bunch of billionaire acquisitions by a greedy mega corporation full of suited buffoons would turn into this mess, laying off hundreds of great talents? F Microsoft. Wow. Strong words from
Yeah.
gamers. Yeah, no, it
A
is
lot of
pretty
people are
insane.
saying that nowadays, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely pretty wild, to kind of see where the industry has gone, especially with like Xbox trying to push for that. I think there's a really important note. I had it here in front of me. I just lost it, but it's pretty wild, consider like, yeah, you were just saying, HenricK, 17 to 22%, even sometimes as low as 10% was usually the average profit margin for a lot of these companies.
Mhm.
It's gone up, like 17% over the years, especially for Sony video games. But what I thought was really, really intriguing was this whole idea. Oh gosh, I had it here and I lost it, because there are ways where they try to convince these indie developers. Oh, here it is. I got it here for you. Because again, it's really difficult for the studios to achieve a 30% profit margin, right? And so to
Yeah,
account for
yeah.
lost sales, Xbox offers its developers a credit, which it calls quote unquote member weighted value. And it's calculated based off of several factors, such as the number of hours that Game Pass players collectively spend on particular titles. And why does this sound like you go, oh, that might sound great for the indie developer? No, it's not, especially when Xbox pushes for day one releases, which is great for us, the consumers, but for the developers and studios, doesn't really convince us to want to pay $70 to $80 on the game when I could just pay for the Game Pass and put 10, 12 hours in and then bounce out. Not every game is a 20, 30-hour experience, right, Henrik? Some games are 5 to 8 hours.
And
so
something like that almost incentivizes the developers to pad out their game just to hit a certain metric of hour mark. And it's like, well, at that point, then if someone's just padding out the game actually might be just substance 5 hours, but then another 5 hours might be just, all right, walk from here to the other side of the map.
yeah.
Or here's a side mission where you got to do a fetch quest. People don't like that sort of thing. That's why people clown on Ubisoft games, because they feel they have too many things going on in them.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of moving parts going around. What I also, just to kind of wrap this one topic of conversation up, Bloomberg reports that they received leaked documents from Microsoft claiming that back in 2022 fiscal year, Xbox hit a 12% margin for their first 9 months. Now they want 30% moving into 2025 and the new year. So yeah, with that Game Pass, that allows, subscribers to pay $30 a month for access to a catalog of hundreds of games without having to shell out, like we were saying, roughly $70 for each new title. It's going to only get very more difficult, and we'll see whether that pans out successfully for Xbox.
It almost makes me feel like, do they have some sort of like big thing that they're just about to come out with that we just don't know of yet that will just shake up everything? I mean, that's the only thing that would make sense, right, for them to hit these profit margins.
It seems like everybody.
I was gonna say there is that rumor of like them making some sort of like PC for the next generation console.
Yeah, and
I don't think that would be really something that would shake things up so much to make 30% profit.
My prediction would be that they are working on a console PC rig, but they're also working on trying to outsource Twitch and Kick. And what I mean by that is I think Microsoft is working on trying to develop a gaming social media platform. Gaming social media. That's where I think they're going to try to go, because they say, where's the true threat? Short form content. They feel like the youth is not playing long form video games anymore. They're going straight to, Fortnite, jumping in for 20 minutes and bouncing out. No different than like TikTok, watching 30-second reels to get their information, their sources. You know what I mean? They don't invest in 60. They're like Lord of the Rings. I have to watch a 3-hour movie of Return of the King. Are you sure, Uncle Chris, this is a good movie? Yes, sit down and shut the hell up, okay? I think that's kind of where we're going.
Watch the director cut. It's 5 hours.
Right, exactly. So I could be totally wrong, but I'm curious on what other gamers feel around this situation. And clearly, Xbox is being pushed by Microsoft to be ambitious, but will this hurt the industry in the long run? Let us know. What's good. But man, this has been such a jam-packed show of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we want to do one last shout-out of our YouTube channels. This QR code will send you directly to mine, so hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
You know the drill. For 1 second, just bask in the glory of this QR code here, because that's my QR code. It goes to my YouTube channel, where there's tons of content already waiting for you to watch, but even more on the way, so stay tuned, all right?
That's right. And we will see you next week, fam, so enjoy yourself. Stay cool. I know it's kind of hot here in Southern California. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Get it cold, baby. But we'll see you soon. And don't forget to set the clocks, because, the time change coming, fam.
True, yeah. Yeah, that's right around the
Peace.
corner.
Right?
See ya.
Peace.